Hi there, Sandra here from Creating Spain, and today I have started on Valentine's cards. Yes, I know it is only January, but if you need any particular supplies, I'm giving you plenty of time to hopefully get them. Now I have cut out the front panel design, and it's a very simple design, and for some reason I've managed to get some pencil marks on that, so I'm just going to take my eraser and get rid of those before I forget that they're there and find it more difficult to remove them. Right, I don't know why that got on there. So I've cut out my front panel, and as you can see, fairly simple. It is some hearts, a heart there with holes and a hole in the centre, and then I come to the base of the card, and this is not quite as simple as you can see. So you may have guessed from the tape here, and I don't know if you can see it, but I have a little LED, that this is going to be a lighting up card. Now I use the CR2016 batteries, which are very, very thin. So I don't have to put a load of foam around the outside of my card, I can get away with it. There is a little mark in the centre of, well, not quite in the centre of the card, but there's a little mark on the card, and that denotes where the LED needs to go. And I will put in this little U-shape cut, which I forgot to put in the file when I made it, but I'll put it in later. And this is going to be the connection for the battery. Now it is not difficult to do, and you can do this with wires, or you can do it with the copper tape. Now I have some copper tape here that my husband got for me. Now there's a story behind this. I asked him to order me some copper tape, and the copper tape that I had ordered had a conductive adhesive on it. This tape, because the tape that I ordered didn't turn up, this tape was ordered by my husband without him checking with me first, and it doesn't have a conductive adhesive. So I have to use this in a slightly different way to what I had actually planned. But if you're going to use copper tape rather than wires, make sure you know whether the adhesive is conductive or not. Because if you put your wires under this tape and stick it down, it's not going to do anything. It will have to go on top of the tape. You will see as we progress. Now this is a little LED, a very tiny little LED, as you'll agree, and it is taken off of a string of copper battery operated Christmas lights. When you do that, because it is a copper wire and they are naked wires basically, you have to remove the film from the ends of the wires or it won't work. So use a nail file, emery board or whatever, just to take the film off of the end bits. Don't take it off too far, but just the end bits. Now you can cut these lights off as singles, or you can cut them off in strings. The choice is yours. But what you need to do is to find out which wires are positive and negative, and make sure you have one of each. And the way you find that out is to place a battery between the two and see if it lights up. Now this is obviously not going to light up, so turn the battery around and there we go, it lights up. So you know then which side is a positive and which is a negative. Your battery has a positive sign on it across, so if you put one wire to that one and one wire to the other side and it lights up, you'll know this wire, for example, is a positive one. So the short wire, in my case I've got one slightly longer than the other, the short wire is the positive one. So remember that, because it just saves you a bit of hassle. You can mark it if you like with a bit of felt tip, a bit of alcohol marker, but mark it on there, not on the end. So I know where my lamp needs to go, so all I'm going to do for the moment is make sure that I've got it around the way that I want it, positive and negative, and I'm just going to stick it down close to the actual bulb itself, so very close to the LED. I'm just using normal sticky tape, don't need anything special for that. Now what I need to do is to extend this wire so it goes over that little cut, and so that the tape goes down through there. Okay, that's where the tape needs to end. And so I don't actually need very much of this copper tape for this at all. I'm just going to cut off a piece like so. And you have to remove the adhesive backing. Now be careful because it's relatively fragile, you don't want to break your tape. But what I do want to do is make sure that it goes all the way down to the bottom of that little piece that I've cut out, but I want to put it in the centre. Okay, actually there's a step I need to do first, I'd almost forgotten. Just going to put that on my desk. What I need to do first of all is to put a little bit of a double-sided tape, and there is a reason for this, it will become obvious afterwards. Just cut that to size, to the width. Put it down as near to the edge as you can, and then remove the backing. Right, now I can do the step that I was going to do before. Put this in the centre. I'm just going to take it slightly over the edge so I can cut the excess off. Put it in the centre like so, and I'm just going to run this straight up because my wire can go over the top of that without any difficulty. Now this little bit here, I'm just going to trim off the excess, like so. And what I can do now is I can bend that to the back. Anyway, I'm going to move that to the back for the time being. And now I'm going to put some sticky tape so that this wire goes over the copper tape, and just stick it down really well. Now my battery needs to go over this hole, but I need to make it so this wire connects to the battery, so I need a little more of the copper tape. Cut off that tape. Now the trouble is, if I was to put that copper tape there and put that there, it won't connect because the adhesive is not conductive. So in this particular case, what I need to do is to remove the backing for about 2 centimetres and double my tape over. This is easier said than done because it's quite intent on screwing itself up. Okay, so I have a little tab that is not adhesive, it's got the copper on both sides. Put that over my battery, where my battery needs to be, which is over that hole, and then stick that down like so. Take my copper wire and stick my copper wire over the top, and as you can see the light is flashing, and if I hold it down like that it will stay on. But obviously I don't want it to be on all the time. But I'm going to stick my battery down in place. So the battery is stuck down, and if you really want to, you can add another bit of tape just to make sure that nothing is going to come loose there. But what I have is my piece of copper tape on this side, which I need to protect. And what you need to do is to make sure that none of that battery connects when you don't want it to. So I've got a piece of a double-sided tape here that I've not taken the backing from, and I can literally slide that underneath and stop it from connecting. So if you're going to use this method, all you need to do is to make sure that your copper tape is protected from the battery, and on this piece or on a piece inside the card say remove and pinch, and then when you remove and pinch, that light will stay on because of the adhesive which is on the back of here. Now if you find it a problem, what you can do is cut the width of the tape down on this area so that you have more of a self-adhesive panel. But as long as you can put something in there to stop the connection, it won't actually stay switched on. So even if I press on this, it cannot light up. Now the advantage of doing this kind of method is that when someone gets the card, they simply remove this, pinch it, and the light will stay on. These batteries will operate one LED for some considerable time, and certainly longer than most people will have their birthday cards or Valentine cards or Christmas cards on display. Now because I marked it out very carefully before, you will find that the light should go pretty much directly underneath that hole in the centre of the heart. And certainly when it's switched on, I remove this and this, you can see that it will light up. But what I want to do is actually put some crystals around here, and I want to fill in the hearts with a different colour on this side. Now I've got my cutouts in the appropriate colour. I've got two choices. I can either transfer the design to the base card, or I can just use some sticky tape, reverse this, and use sticky tape on the back to keep these in place, and I think that's what I'm going to do instead. Okay, so now you can see that I have stuck on my hearts, my inset hearts with sticky tape on the back, and I've also put some double-sided tape strips over the holes of the heart, but not the central one obviously, because I don't want to cover that one. I haven't taken the backing off the double-sided tape. That is quite important because I don't actually need to take the backing off. I only need it to be sticky on the one side, but double-sided tape is probably a better adhesive, I think, for what I need to use on the other side. So as you can see, I've got all these holes and they're covered up with my adhesive. So now what I want to do is to put some rhinestones in there. Okay. So pick up one of these and plonk it into the space that I want it to go into. So I'm going to put the rest of these in here and I'll see you in a moment. Okay, so I've got my rhinestones in here now. So all I need to do now is put the back of the card to the front of the card and put it side to side. There we go, and you can see that the card lights up in the centre of that heart. Now if you wanted to, you could make sure that that was a red bulb, but that is how to do a lighting up a Valentine card. And of course whoever gets it is simply asked to remove that and to stick it down, and it should stick down and stay on. There we are. One Valentine card. It's not complicated to do. It's a nice classically simple design, nothing too fluffy for the guys. Thanks for watching. Take care now. Bye bye.